Good afternoon, everybody. Today is day 237. It is September 29th, 2023, and it is 3:07 p.m. in the afternoon Mountain Time. Okay, so I'm debating because it's actually a little chilly out here, and I'm trying to decide if I want to keep my fan on or if I want to turn it off. And I did not charge the remote, like I said the other day, because I discovered I didn't need to charge it. I just simply either wasn't close enough to it or I didn't have it pointed correctly at the base. And so it could be distance, or it could also be not having the sensor pointed in the right direction. It's very sensitive, I can tell you that. So I know the remote is still charged up. So at some point I may decide to turn my fan off. The little breeze I'm feeling now is making it kind of a little too cold in here for me. So I am debating, but then again, it might not want to work and it might just stay on, so I might just have to leave it. If anything happens with this, and if it doesn't work completely, like if it stops, excuse me, I'm losing my voice today, and I just realized that right now. I did not know that until I started talking. Like I said, if I'm on the phone, I'm not really talking to anybody, so I basically did not know my voice was gonna go out. Okay, so let's speed this thing up. Let's see what happens. I am so fired on that treadmill oil, you guys. Oh my gosh, I still have the, what do you call that? The when you go to your phone, you go to Google, the page, I guess you could say. I still have it open and I still haven't ordered it, and I need to. And now I'm concerned with the delivery of it. I would have to switch the address or something like that. That way I can make sure that we get it, because we do need it. That little bottle that's over there is not going to do it. If we were to pour the oil into the other bottle, it would be less than an ounce. That might be 2 or 3 ounces, but I don't even see how it would be able to come out the bottle so it can go through the tube and oil what it needs to oil. So keeping it in its little teeny bottle would be more beneficial. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna see what I can get this thing up to without what it usually does. Either it usually almost flings me off, as you guys know, or it stops and catches me off guard. Or one time the light went out, and so that told me it was going to stop, like I kind of knew, because usually the light stays lit up blue, and sometimes it doesn't want to stop. Sometimes it doesn't want to go past a certain speed, so this thing it's kind of all over the place. So I'm just kind of working with it, whatever I can get it to do during the amount of time that I'm walking and talking to you guys. Currently I'm at speed 1. Well, I just kind of accidentally pumped that up to 1.2, a little too fast. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna catch up to itself. And we're at 2 minutes, 55 seconds. So weight-wise, 157.4, a new low for the past 2 weeks. Excited, very, very excited. I kind of had a little bit of topic that just kind of popped into mind, and then I thought about it and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I would put it on the list of the fact that I try to stay away from controversial topics. I try to keep the walk positive, just hey, how are you guys doing? This is how I'm doing. This is how my health is going with my walk. This is how I'm doing with the stuff I started eating, the berries, a little bit that I can't eat right that are natural. The rest of it has to be canned, right? And so overall thing. And what I would have to say, the walk is helping because I have previous test results and stuff like that, seeing the differences and stuff like that. And a motivational message, and then I just kind of go from there. So if you're just starting to watch my channel, that's pretty much what I do. Yes, I walk and talk for the whole 40 minutes. If I go past, what I try to do is remember that I went past the day before, how many minutes. Ooh. See, the light didn't go out. It's still blue, so I did not know it was going to do that. We're at 1.3 for speed, 4. how would I say that? 4 minutes and 15 seconds. I read this off every day, right? 0.06 for distance, and let's see if it's gonna stop. 6.81 for calories. So no, the stop button's not working. Usually the emergency key doesn't work anymore to make it basically reset itself. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. So I never even know if it's gonna work. And this is my second treadmill. It's not my first. My first one's over there. We got Mr. Squeaky over here. We got whatever this does. So usually what I do is I turn it off, turn it back on, and then it lowers sometimes. There's no guarantee that it's going to lower when I do that. And so I said we have 4 minutes. So let's see what happens. And I may not be able to push it past whatever it was at, what I just said. So I said like what, 1.3. I think the speed I won't be too focused on, but let's get back on it and let's see what it does. I cannot guarantee that it's going to actually work for the whole 40 minutes. Okay, so have I sat down and actually looked over more treadmills the way I did when I was researching and how I ended up with this one? No, but I still kind of have like the knowledge of what I looked at. Amazon, I think I have a couple of them saved in my wish list. I might have a treadmill list I made thinking I should categorize it into that so I can remember, right? And so there's probably a couple, but I don't think there's too many of them that can incline up to 15. So have I seriously sat down to pick one of the other ones or decided to try and do a search again to see if there's anything new that just came out that people are kind of raving over? No. It gets a little frustrating, irritating after a while because, you know, I'm trying to walk. I'm not an outdoors person for several different reasons. You guys that watch my channel, you guys know why. My allergies, different things like that. And I don't like being outside. If I get bit, I'm broken out for weeks, sometimes months with an S. And so, yeah. So, I kind of don't have a choice but to get it up to a certain speed and just kind of let it go with that. So, let's see. And it's so crazy because sometimes if I say something's going to happen, it does. Been watching some videos on like manifestation, different things like that. I'm just kind of curious. The cute cat playing with a ball of yarn. I mean, it's cute. It never stops being cute, right? But I'm getting kind of bored. So I'm looking at a couple of other things, a couple of types of videos, which actually made me think that my talk for today, I probably would kind of steer away from it. And then I looked it up to even see, like, if it comes up, like for the search thing, how you can kind of tell what people search. And then I saw a video and I wasn't really too interested. And I thought, okay, well, I don't know if I say the same topic. I mean, I pretty much was going to say kind of the same thing as this person did. And so, yeah, the topic was going to be, after I told you guys I was happy that here I go going down again, and hopefully I keep going down. I know my weight's going to fluctuate, but if it wants to get down to like 153 and fluctuate a little bit in between that 155 and then go down to 150, I won't be mad about that. I most certainly cannot walk at 0.8. It's kind of too slow. That's what I'm at right now. So I'm going to try and speed it up. And I've also been curious, besides the friction sensor problem I told you guys about. I told you the way that you solve it is you oil underneath your belt. I'm trying to say belt, left and right, and that came out, whatever word I just said. That's why you want the tube or the oil bottle with the tube so you can get to the middle from each side, in the front, and then down here kind of toward the back. But you have your speed sensor, you have, I think, your incline sensor, you have an incline motor, I believe. And so I'm beginning to wonder if the speed sensor is going out because everything freezes. I know you guys can't see it, but that's why I read the screen and I tell you, is it still lit up? Okay, so I don't know if the thing is losing power overall or what the case may be. Oddly so, it's stopping more being plugged up to what it's plugged up to now because, you know, it can just knock out all the power here. And I I just turned it to go up and it just went down. It was supposed to go up to 0.9 and it went down to 0.8. Or actually, I think it just did not speed up. So I'm curious. The speed sensor thing is starting to kind of maybe make sense, you guys. I don't know. I just told to do a gradual slowdown. I think it was a warning like, hey, I'm going to do it again. But let's see. Let's see if we can at least get to 1. Okay, because 2 is a good speed. I always say, from what I've heard from other people that have like YouTube channels that walk on treadmill, stuff like that, that you kind of want to walk at least a speed of 2. And so, lately, getting this thing up to 2 has been kind of like not happening in the past couple of days. I don't think it reached 2 yesterday either. So now we're at 4 minutes. And so we're gonna stop at 36, right? Okay, so let me see what I can get it up to, because if I want to keep going down in weight, then I have to walk a little bit faster than 1. So let's see, it's kind of me against it, right? Sounds odd, but I mean, you saw, it's not like I pushed a button, and honestly, if I tried to stop it, it probably wouldn't have stopped. It probably would have kept going. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, 1.2. There's 1.3. Do I dare? Let's see. Okay, D02 code, all set to 0. Blue light still on. As you can hear, it's declining. Okay, so I don't think I can make it go past 1.1. It is not happy with the 1.4. I'm like, really? That was another 4 minutes. So we're down to 32 minutes. Okay, let's try this again. Will it even start? Countdown. And is today a treadmill diagnostic day? I don't know. I'm just like, oh boy, the whole talk was not supposed to be about this thing not working. Kind of happy that I'm not live, but I am going to upload this. And so my thought process is, I know I said 1.1, but I think if I can get it up to 1, I'm just going to leave it and go up to 32 minutes and then call it a day. And then go in there and make myself sit down and order this oil. If that's even the problem. The motor seems to run strong, like I said. And I haven't done a test of me being off of it and doing the whole letting it run, inclining it, speeding it up, stuff like that. Because normally nothing happens unless I'm on it. So that's why I keep mentioning that friction sensor. So yeah, 0.7. Okay, 0.8. It's fairly quiet. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. 0.9. 1 minute. All right, I said 1. Will it do 1? Okay, we're at 1. I'm leaving it be. I'm just gonna let it go, see how long it goes. See if we can make it to the 32-minute mark. All right, so, yeah, other than that, skipped fruits yesterday. Might have some today. I'm gonna take a look at them and see how they're doing so far as if they're starting to ruin or rotten, however you would say it. As you can see, hair dyed, and I thought, oh, that's right, bun, so I put it back in the bun, still not cut over here. Got a little area here I kind of wish would grow back, but I'm just kind of letting it grow as it kind of wants to, and then trying to eat the fruits and stuff like that. I've kind of steered away from the supplements, those vitamins and stuff like that. So I do notice a difference. It's just that I don't know what I can add back. And I told you guys the story about what came about when I added, I think, 1 too many vitamins. And so I ended up having to take myself off of all of them and trying to just get it mainly from food. And now I'm going to have to start reading what food gives you what vitamin, what nutrients, stuff like that. I'm always trying to go from a kind of natural point anyway. I'm not one that too much cares for medicine. Now, my migraines, I haven't found anything naturally that can just stop it to where I don't have to take migraine medicine. So the migraines and then the stomach aches, yeah, no, I still take medicine for that. But I'm feeling okay today, actually. So I'm happy to say I haven't had to take anything today. And still no allergy pills. Okay, so I haven't really talked about my immune system reset in a while, and the fact that I didn't even know that it existed or what it was. And then I told you guys basically, it's to try, I don't know where some of my words are going today, to get rid of my allergies. And it seemed like such a big idea, right? Because the thought process is, it was said to get rid of all my allergies, including my food allergies, and I found it kind of interesting. So basically, I was put on Montelukast. Montelukast is an allergy pill. It's very small. Like I said, it's about the size of a Tic Tac, but like in a square shape. It has a slight, very slight cherry flavor to it, which I think it has natural, like cherry juices or flavors or whatever. It's not artificial. I can taste it. Like I said, I have a strong sense of taste. And so I took it with water one time, and I like cherry. So I was like, ooh. Then I read it, and I was like, oh, good, it's not artificial. At least from what I read. Could be wrong. Very easy to swallow. And so the whole thing was to be on it for 6 months, be off of it for 6 months. And like I said, so it's for people that have severe allergies, and also to help people that have asthma to not have asthma attacks. Okay, is the main two things that I've read that it's for. Because when I read the whole asthma thing, I thought, well, I don't, have asthma, but I know asthma, allergies, eczema are they're related. And so I have told you guys before that my allergy attacks are about the closest thing I could think of to asthma. And you're gonna say, well, if you don't have it, how would you know? Because not being able to breathe or feeling like that for an extended period of time, and then getting to the point to where you actually can't, that's how bad my allergy attacks are. I would say it would have to be the closest thing to an allergy attack from what I've talked to people asthma attack, that I've talked to people that have asthma. Okay, so just sharing experiences and stuff like that. And I always tell them I'm so happy you don't have any allergies, because if you did, my allergy attacks sound like your asthma attacks. Okay, so, and everyone that knows me knows we can do it pretty much like right away. Some stuff is gradual, some stuff never gets that bad. But I try and steer clear of my allergies as best I can, and that's part of the immune system reset. And so I was on it for 9 months, the Montelukast, and then I think it was when I was finally put on the 6 months on, 6 months off. And so I'm trying to remember if I went 6 months on first or 6 months off. I can't remember. What I do know is I've been saying for a long enough period of time that I've been off of it for 18 months to where I would have to say I'm having to get close to 24 months. Okay, so if I am, and I couldn't tell you if I'm supposed to be on or off at this point. All I know is that I can tell you, roughly speaking, that it's coming up, I believe, which I can't believe it, but it's probably getting ready to come up on 2 years I've been off. And so the whole point is to try to keep a person off. I won't say me, because I don't think that my doctor's the only one that has suggested this, to try and keep a person off of allergy medicine for as long as they possibly can. And the thing is that if there's no signs of it being needed, then to not end up taking it. Okay, so I think the first 6 months on, 6 months off, I think I did that twice. Or at least I went 6 months on once, And when I got to 6 months off, when I got to the next 6 months on, I never went back on. So I've had at least 6 months on and 6 months off, including the 9 months prior that I was on, right? Because it was like every 3 months, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have you in for another 3 months, and eventually I thought I would get taken off of it. So I believe I went 6 months on after that and was kind of surprised. Because I calculated on it for 9 months. I believe that's the way it happened. Okay, so yeah, but once I went off of it, I did end up having to go back on it. And so, what it's done is, even though I just naturally am not an outside person, I just naturally, especially eating, I can't stand being outside eating because here come the flies, the bugs, there could be nothing out there. You sit down your wonderful, beautiful plate, there's a gnat that just flew by, point, case an example right there, right? And then here comes everything in the world, right? That wants to eat your food. It wants to land on you. You might be part of its meal, aside from it trying to like eat your food and stuff. And it's really annoying for me. So, especially if I'm sitting in a really pretty place, pretty flowers, things like that, I want to be able to enjoy the scenery, and I can't for several reasons. And usually by that time, depending on what's there, what's growing there, I already can feel the fact that I can't breathe. My chest is burning, my throat is burning or hurting or something like that. And so it's like up inside I go, especially freshly cut with grass. Oh my gosh, you guys, no. And there's a plant around here. I have to identify what it is because before I would walk past it and oh my gosh. And it was worse than any other part of our neighborhood. So I had to figure out what that is. And it's so pretty when it's full blooms, but I don't know. So anyway, I can be outside probably more so than what I was kind of able to before, because it all depends on what was blooming at the time, or what was getting ready to start blooming. And now it's not so much that. I think it's starting to be specific things, specific plants, like let's say lavender, whether or not I'm having a worse reaction or a not as bad reaction, things like that. I'm starting to actually notice. And so far as food, I haven't really noticed like too much of a difference just yet, because I have a very high seafood allergy. And a lot of stuff that I can't eat, I have had before at least once, and I don't like anyway. So for tuna, I love tuna, and now I can't even eat tuna anymore. At least I haven't tried, which probably would not be a good idea. Seeing as how seafood is the highest on the list next to peanuts, right? So, yeah, even the raw tomatoes, I've had raw tomatoes before, and that's kind of more so when it was like, okay, wait, yeah, add that onto the list. And some of it was from when I was little. So for the food, I haven't really noticed much of a difference, but it wouldn't matter to me because I don't like the taste of peanuts. I don't like the taste of raw tomatoes. And raw carrots, I don't like the taste of them. It's not just the reaction I have, I don't. And so seafood, I'm not too really big on it. I know that it's healthy, but I have the same where I don't want to eat food that's looking back at me. Kind of lobsters and crabs are creepy. And I'm like, ew, I'm kind of really girly, or whatever you would call it, just like the ill type person. I get grossed out easy, okay? So if you're gonna say, well, it's not necessarily being, I know that's why I said I get grossed out easy, and I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so like I said, I love you, but please don't. I won't say that I had to correct myself. Other people may have felt like, oh, you need to, that's not really correct or whatever. But the point is that there's a way to express whatever you're trying to say, right? Okay, so I gross out easy. So the catfish, having to go out of the house if you've cooked in your house, stuff like that. And plus the whiskers, I can't. Shrimp reminds me of Lion King. And you're like, Lion King, yeah. And remember that plate they had? And it's slimy, yes, that's fine. I'm like, ew. So when it's breaded, it's not as bad, but I see it, and I have this feeling like, ew, it looks uncooked and all this other stuff, right? And then, like I said, remember, come to find out, I was thinking, okay, being around it, I'm kind of mainly okay. Normally have like the same things that would happen with like catfish or just fish period, like, right? And so breaded, I'm usually more okay than that. Like you can eat it around me, and you won't. If I'm reacting, you won't be able to tell neither will I, like not as much. And that's like one of the highest seafood allergies I have. Little did I know, but I had a blood test and there it popped up on the top of the list with salmon. I was like, oh wow, really? The two things I don't really seem to react to, not right away, especially shrimp versus salmon. I'll have a reaction to salmon faster than I will to shrimp, and I'll have a reaction to catfish faster than that, or any other fish really. So it kind of surprised me that salmon was up there. I mean, it's like the high numbers, and I was like right at the top. Peanuts, I'm off the chart. So anyway, yeah, the food thing for the immune system reset, I have not noticed really a difference. Like the strawberries, the blueberries, the raspberries, I was always able to eat those. Take them, rinse them, and I eat them, right? I have not tested kiwi. I love kiwi. I would always peel it. But I would react to it. Not as bad as peanuts, but it would be one of the worst reactions I would have to have an allergic reaction to fruit. But it's so delicious. So I have not tested that. Like I said, part of this is to stay as far away from your allergies as possible. And then so you're probably thinking, well, how do you know it's working? Well, like I said, the environmental part you kind of notice first, more. And then the food stuff, okay, so I'll put it to you this way. Okay, so you know food has pollen, it has oils, stuff like that, right? And so I can just be in a room, like how people, well, I'm allergic to peanuts, so how people are being allergic to peanuts, like, oh yeah, oh no, I couldn't, you know, crack peanuts out of a shell. Some people you might know can't be around the peanut in the shell, right? Or as soon as you crack it open, or you don't realize, like, oh, if it was in shell, they might be okay, versus me having a pack of peanuts and I just open them, right? So it's kind of like that. I was reading that peanut has, 3 proteins, a pollen, and oil. 5 components, right? And so the way I know is I saw these things and I went and looked them up and that's what it said it was. And I was like, oh, so I'm allergic to the entire peanuts, all of it, the proteins, the oil, the pollen, everything. And so also think of it like grass. Okay, a person that's allergic to grass, and there's not a lot of people, like I said, I've said this before, that I don't know of that can be around freshly cut wet grass. Even people that can tell you I'm allergic to it. But freshly cut wet grass seems to get to a lot of people, right? Okay, kind of like that. The person that's allergic to grass, such as myself, I don't go over there and have to eat it. I don't have to go walk barefoot in it. It's there. And the wind blows, stuff like that. And then it carries. It has an odor, right? Something makes it smell, right? So things like that, flowers. Flowers have pollen and stuff like that. A lot of people are allergic to flowers. We don't have to go over there and munch on them, you know, like it's a sandwich, right? So it's kind of odd to me how people don't understand that about food itself, except for peanuts and like walnuts. And then fish, they kind of get it. You know, when you cook it, the oil, stuff like that, it's even when it's not cooked, right? You want to package it and that's it. And so that's the way, the only way, I'm sorry, that's the only way I can explain it to you is it's just like that. Okay, so the person doesn't have to be alert, like actually eat the food that they're allergic to have a reaction. Okay, it's just the exposure to it. Okay, so food has pollen and oils, basically. So, it's, what's noticeable is if I'm just in the room with it, is what I'm starting to notice is the difference. And the salmon, like I said, threw me off to go back to that for just a quick second because I remember, I think my grandpa had made lemon pepper. I thought that was salmon. I don't remember it being red snapper. I don't remember it being bluegills. We used to catch those all the time at one of these parks. And that was kind of like mainly what was in their pond. And it was to the point to where if you've cooked it in your house and have been around it, then that day or the next day or the day after, I can tell you what type of fish you cook. That's how bad my seafood allergy is, my fish allergy alone to seafood. And so I don't think it was any of those. He had me try a little teeny piece and I was fine. Now, could I have sat there, let him cut up some more pieces and ate it? Probably no, that probably would not have been a good idea. But I found that kind of odd. Knowing that I just had a fish allergy, period, and I wasn't even sure about the lobsters or shrimps and stuff like that. If it crossed into shellfish and stuff like that, I just knew to stay away mainly from fish. So Would I attempt it? No. And I've been told to go organic, and I'm like, don't think so. It was a nutritionist, and they're like, oh, it's the spray that they use. So with the ocean, well, we put stuff in it. And so me and him kind of went back and forth, right? It made sense what he was saying, but I wasn't going to go and then say, okay, and then just cook a piece of fish or whatever, or go back to get a can of tuna that I used to be able to eat, and then just start trying to eat it and see what happens, right? So, honestly, with the tuna thing, what happened was like, it was more like the juices of it, because that got to my lips first. And then there came the reaction, and I was like, oh, check that off of the fish list, right? Seafood, whatever you call it list, and that was it. And I was sad. I was very sad. Because I didn't put all the other stuff in it. It was like, oh, some LaRae's seasoned salt. I liked it cold. I put it in the fridge after I put it in a bowl. Stirred up, put some hot sauce on it, and I was good to go. It was very simple. So I didn't make like tuna salad, stuff like that. Can't do mayonnaise because I can't do eggs, right? And so it was very simple. And it was just so quick and easy to kind of put together. I don't know how healthy you could say it is because it's canned or whatever. And different people have different ideas of canned food and stuff like that. Oh, it's already cooked, nutrients are already gone, stuff like that. A lot of people say a lot of things about canned food, right? But I don't think someone could have taken a fresh one, prepared it, like never canned it, and then I eat it. No, I probably couldn't have done that. So it was possibly only a matter of time before I couldn't even do that anymore. And that's what I'm saying, they tell you, oh, just introduce yourself a little bit at a time. And that's not necessarily true. I will say for some people, there's like a baseline where that's kind of not true for anyone. But if you want to try it. I'm not telling you. You might say, well, not for me. Well, you might have to have a little bit more. Then you might react. So I wouldn't tell you to do that to yourself because I know what it's like to react to different things to the point to where before I even knew what an EpiPen was, it was like, give me the closest allergy pill you see. If you see it around me, then I take it. Okay, so obviously I'm going to buy something I don't take, right? So use something like that. And then just as much water as I could drink. That's so sad that that's probably the only time I mainly drank a lot of water was to stop an allergy attack. So yeah, but the immune system reset has been going good, and the animal allergy thing, I'm not, they're cute, don't get me wrong, cats, dogs, I'm just not a pet person. Even if I wasn't allergic, I'm not. But part of the reason why I would say I could be in a room with cats for a little bit longer than what I used to be able to be, I would say would have started with the fact that I gave myself allergy shots. But this was like back in 2017, okay? So this wasn't something that was combined with this immune system reset. This was however many years ago that was. Didn't mean I wasn't gonna react. It just took longer. And so I wouldn't just be in someone's house that had cats and not take an allergy pill like from the beginning, maybe 10 to 15, 20, 30 minutes before I would even get to their house, or an hour before. I wouldn't go in there and think, yay, 3 months, they helped, but it wasn't like the 3 years that I had a choice if I wanted to keep going or not. So yeah, but some stuff happened with that, so I stopped. And it did help. I'm not gonna lie, it helped. And I was one of those people where I know someone that they get sick often when we first met and will look at me like, what does that feel like? I'm like, what? They would tell me, oh, to be sick, and I'm like, well, like this. And so I kind of had that experience, and I'm thinking, well, what do you mean when you see someone, their nose running, they're blowing their nose, stuff like that, and I'm on these allergy shots, right? And I'm not having to do that anymore. And so I'm like, you know exactly what it feels like, because if you weren't doing these allergy shots, that's exactly what would be happening to you, right? So still, if you experience it long enough, it's such a relief. And after a while, it's not normal anymore for you, I don't know if that makes any sense. So, of course, I would have to say some stuff that was not already in the vials. I went through 3 months, and every month the vial gets stronger and stronger and stronger, like how much of the allergen is in there. And so 3 full months. So some of those things that were in there, I don't even know, they picked 10. And start you from there. So I don't even know what was put in there. I do know cat was put in there because they're like, oh, can you just not like be around the animal thing? And then I said, no, you don't understand. A lot of people I know have pets. If you're not gonna put dog in there, I need cat there. So yes. But now with the immune system reset, I would have to say it kind of maybe just kind of kept that there. But I'm not gonna sit in a room with cats for like an hour or 2 hours like that. I wouldn't do that. That is still something I can tell you the immune system reset hasn't really helped with that. I'm speaking from experience because when was that? This Easter week of this year, we went to a friend's house. The idea was I was going to wait at the Airbnb, wait for my husband to go visit, come back, but we had somewhere we had to be. And so I told him, I said, well, you don't really have time to go, but he wants to go. Of course, we'll try to see everyone we can see. So I said, I'm going to go with you because this makes sense. They live over here. We're over here. The restaurant's over there, like across town over there. And so that's not going to work. So I need to go. So I went in with him and I think they had 2 cats. Yeah. And so they got put away, but still, the cats live in the house, basically, right? So if you're allergic to cats, you know what I mean. They don't have to be in the room with you. Got to the restaurant and give it about 30 minutes, not even an hour, and my head was pounding in the back like someone hit me in the head with a mallet. And I knew exactly what caused it. That was the most kind of severe reaction I had, but I had not been in a house with cats for a very long time. And I was already obviously off my shots. Like I said, I stopped them the same year I started them. So I would have to say it just kept that 30 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe 1, not 2 cats living in the house there. So it kind of stabilized it or kept it stable there. But yeah, like I said, the whole thing is you still want to avoid because in the midst of you trying to have your immune system reset, you're not trying to get yourself sick because you know what you're allergic to, right? So I don't know if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's the way it's been working. I really took to talk about it, to actually go into depth with it, my experience with it. And I don't know if you've ever heard of it, the immune system reset. But I can tell you that another way I know that it's getting better, the third way, is I don't need allergy medicine as much because the Montelukis is, in my opinion, because I've taken other allergy medicine, I have other allergy medicine. You know, my go-to is Equate, 24-hour non-drowsy. I talk about it all the time. Give it like 5 minutes, and I mean, you stop sniffling, your nose stops running, right? I haven't met, I would say, I don't think I've met one person, it's only been one that I know of, that it did not help. Other than that, I'll be talking to a person like, do you notice something? And I'm like, what? And I tell them you're not sneezing, your nose isn't running, your eyes aren't watering anymore. I mean, I don't want to promote taking pills, but I mean, you don't want to be miserable. And the person said, yes, obviously they've taken it, right? And they've taken other allergy medicine, maybe they forgot theirs, they take Claritin, whatever, you know, it's on the shelf. And so they're like, oh, I don't have it. Or, yeah, I'll try it because I ran out or whatever the case may be. And I haven't had to take that as much either. About 4 or 5 days, maybe a week ago, I did, but it was because I think it was something that I ate. And I didn't realize it had that ingredient until after, and I was like, oh my gosh. So, I don't think we pinpointed the ingredient. It was just the fact that I was reacting. You know what a food allergy reaction is when you've already had them so many times, right? So, it was like, uh-oh, throat itching. Did you take an allergy pill, right? Try and catch it before it gets bad. And so I didn't even really care to think like, okay, let me go look at the ingredients. I mean, the damage was done, I already ate it. I didn't even remember what it was. So obviously it was unexpected. So hopefully it wasn't a new allergy that I developed. I don't think so, it's probably existing. But other than that, I am not having to take that as much as well. And have I taken Claritin? Yes, a couple times. I don't really care for Zyrtec. Loratadine, I've taken that. So I can name off some allergy medicine, okay? Superfit, I think it was mainly pain, but I think they have an allergy cold one, I can't remember. And I'm trying to think, what's the other one? Waltine. I haven't taken Waltine in a long time, but Waltine is like Walgreens' generic version of something, and I've had that before. And I do have, I think, LaRae's prescribed to me. And the new allergist was like, oh my gosh, he wants to take you off montelukast. I think he should keep you on. And because she had the blood test part done. And so I was like, well, we're doing the immune system reset. That kind of defeats the purpose. And so LaRae's wasn't really that strong anyway. And then Zysol. Yeah, at one point, I had prescription Zysol as well. And so I think we stopped LaRae's, kept the Zysol going for a little while. But that was the whole dermatographia thing I told you guys about. It causes welts just out of nowhere. Very, very itchy. And so never had that happen. That's where cutting out the vitamins came into. I went backwards, starting with the new one and then cut out all the rest of them. So, yeah, so eventually it was like, okay, off of Zysol. Especially since I was fresh off into this immune system reset. Okay, so I can say for me personally, I noticed that it wasn't like montelukast was worked in that sense for certain allergies. Every now and then there would be a need for the equate, and now there's less of a need, plus there's no montelukast. Like I said, I have to be going into, I believe, 6 years of not being on it. So yeah. So that's basically how it's been working. It's a good thing because, you know, sometimes if you see my walks, like within the past month or two, you'll see me, I'll tell you guys, like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe up here. I'm catching whiffs of stuff out here. And I took an allergy pill or I didn't. Like I usually tell you guys if I did it. I've been kind of like going from there. And even if you've noticed with my walk, I don't know, even if you've been walking with me and watching for the past, I say month, maybe 2 months, you'll probably notice that if I don't mention it, then I didn't do it. So like today, what I told you guys was it's a little chilly out here. I have my fan on, don't know if I want to have it on. So I'm very open about like, okay, so what am I doing for my health? What's the purpose? Is it working? And I just go from there, I share the information, and then hopefully it helps. I mean, you might be at a point where your allergies, whatever the case may be, even the immune system reset, like that sounds interesting. Because you're going to end up being on medicine. I mean, I could tell you montelukast is one of the most common things I've ever taken. Being that I have such high allergies and stuff like that. And so there's no, at least for me, no sleepiness, no nothing like that. It was one a day. Forgot to tell you guys, it was one a day. And then, let's see, when was I supposed to take it? That's how long I've been off of it. I'm trying to think, was it right before, or was it just once a day? I'm trying to think. I think it ended up being like midday because of when I started. You know, like you get the prescription filled, you have to go pick it up, then you actually have to take it. And so I think it didn't get filled until somewhere between 2 and 4 p.m. And that ended up being when I ended up taking it instead of just starting it the following morning. And so whatever time I did take it, it was just that one time a day. Okay, like I said, 6 months on, 6 months off. Okay, so it wasn't like I had to take 3 or 2 or 3 or whatever. That's what I liked about it. And so yeah, sometimes in the beginning, I would react to certain things and I would be like, okay, well, wait a second, am I allergic to montelukast? Am I reacting to that? I kind of had that feeling I had to start really paying attention to what else I was kind of exposed to. Because I mean, think about lotions, right? Body washes, it's not just food, okay? When we say environmental, animal, mold, and food, I'm on all those lists. So I'm at the perfumes. If you see me buy a perfume, the fact of the matter is I probably wouldn't even wear it because I usually don't anyway. But you won't see me buy it unless I can spray it or spray it on my wrist and then nothing happens. Or I can smell it and nothing happens, like my nose can start burning. It's very rare you'll see me buy like any fragrances at all. Kind of a waste of money, so I stopped. And so, like I said, there's so many other different things. For a while, even before I started the new system reset, I was finally able to like walk down the detergent aisle, laundry detergent, and not be like, oh my gosh, like, oh my god, I love smelling Gain, but it would be Gain or something else, and it would hit my nose, like someone just took some out and just tossed it at me, right? And I was like, oh no, let me get off this, I'm gonna get the detergent I'm gonna use. I went to, what was it, All Free Clear. I went away from Tide. I thought it was a little too harsh for my clothes. Even when they finally came out with like the Tide Clear or whatever, I got to, like I said, the All Free Clear, and I would just get off the aisle. Maybe grab some bounce sheets. Those will be all like free clear type thing, whatever, bounce, free and clear, and get away from the aisle. And I haven't been like that. So even walking down the other aisle, which is your Pine Sol, maybe your mopping gloves, like your kitchen cleaning products, me and that aisle weren't really friends either. And now I'm fine. Because you know, usually on that aisle somewhere like at the end, there's what Glade, plug-ins and sprays and stuff like that. And I could smell all of that stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's strong. And but I have to leave the aisle just from the collective powerfulness of all those fragrances. So I wasn't like that too much anymore before the new system reset. And now it's not even a worry. Before I used to hesitate and I'm thinking, okay, come from the other end of the aisle, right? So that I'm not over here by this. So I don't even have to worry about that anymore. So subtle differences. I know this is gonna take some time because I have so many. Okay, so I'll see if I can get a little bit more specific with food. And like I said, the semi kind of hard part is gonna be most stuff I can't eat, I don't like anyway, because I've had it. It was already on the list, some was, oh, now I know I'm allergic to it, like don't eat it again. But maybe I can start small. Even though he said stay away from my allergies as much as possible, I have a couple of grapes, you know, so I can kind of add to the list and say specifically like, oh, yeah, I was able to do this and then not have to worry about, am I gonna have to take an allergy pill? But other than that, I need to stay away from it for the most part in order for this to work. Okay, so it's a little bit different. I don't even know if you talk to your doctor what they're gonna say, if they even heard of it. But I have more than one doctor, so I have a primary, I have another one that now is considered primary. Of course, I have an OBGYN, right? So yeah. But we are past the 32 minutes. We're only at 35 minutes though. Okay, so we're gonna say we have 3 minutes for our walk for tomorrow. We're gonna stop it. Okay. I told myself I'll stop telling you guys if we're gonna stop the treadmill until I was sure it was going to do that. But yes, so I will try to remember 3 minutes for tomorrow's walk. And I'm thinking, okay, so the third might have a double date attached to it. I have appointments or an appointment that day, and I'm thinking about scheduling another one on that day. And so I just might not even have the time to come out here because my first appointment's pretty early. So I'll try and let you guys know because there won't be a walk like on that day. Okay, so what I'll do is if I decide to do that, then I'll go back to the day that counted for it. And then of course I had to add it and see what day is the third. Is it 240, whatever day it will be, right? And then I'll let you guys know, okay, so video this has that slash with that day for the third. Okay, and I know I have a lot, so if you just started watching my channel anyway, with the whole walk, just the whole workout part of it, I have a lot. I don't even remember what I said today was 230 something, right? But yes, okay, so I actually, I mentioned what I was gonna have the topic about and I kind of steered away from it. I guess I just told myself to just come out here and just talk, and then if the subject I was thinking of came back up, we'll go ahead and talk about it, and if not, then like I said, I didn't really think I was gonna take up the whole talk anyway. But yeah, so that's how I'm doing because like I said, I do updates as well. So every time I'm like waiting for test results for something specific, or if like I said my weight lowers, or if I have another blood test and it's like, oh, the numbers that were high with this now they've went down, like my bad cholesterol number went down, my good cholesterol number stayed up, right? That was the newest thing that happened from this latest blood test, and my sugar went down, only 0.1, but it went down instead of going up. Okay, so different things like that. When I have different results, then that's why I tell you guys, like, oh, the water thing, like I said, I don't even tell you guys I'm gonna drink more water. You guys, I promise I am. No, because I know I'm not. You guys saw I didn't even drink any. Plus, I wasn't really walking fast enough. I won't say not to need it, but to not get thirsty. I know I need it anyway, whether I got thirsty or not. So I know I didn't even touch my water, so I'll just go in there, have my fruits, and drink my water with that. And yeah, so that's basically what I do, and I review stuff. Okay, oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna mention this now. That'll be the last thing, and I'm gonna mention it tomorrow because I totally forgot. Sometimes I try to have like a new topic and not an update, unless, like I said, unless it was like a research, and I said I'm gonna research and tell you guys. But I will mention this though, because, okay, so this update is about that sign. You know, the sign I want to use for the fact that I record, right? We're trying to get my, our treadmill with my studio set up in the house. Okay, so this is not my studio. This is just my walking area, obviously. You guys know I recorded my kitchen a lot when I was doing the nail videos. I haven't really stopped. I just haven't picked something else to do yet. And plus, I'm still in the 6-month mark of having to wait to do my own. Okay, so, yes, the sign is for that. For it to, if it's lit up, if it's flashing, then of course I'm recording. And then if it's not, then go ahead, open the door, and let's just hope, like I said, I keep mentioning this, but the chain doesn't break and the sign doesn't fall, because this one, being that it was LED plus UV printed, only had a 5% off on Amazon, and it was more expensive than their LED sign. They have a 40% off coupon if it's still there. So you can get your sign down to somewhere between like 35 and like maybe 45 bucks, no more than 50 after taxes. And I mean, this thing is like 16 inches, and it's this way. The inches are this way, not the letters this way. Okay, just in case you look, because some of my videos have that in the description box that I mentioned the sign. But what they did was, you guys know that first I was asking questions about it, then they added some options because I mentioned, hey, the options are there. The size you suggested, I can't pick it because it's not there. I want to waterproof it. That option's not there. I told you guys they added that. And then we were discussing, okay, they're going to be on a holiday, and they were going to wait until the end of like next week to even ship. And they didn't. So that's my update. Is it is now scheduled for the day that it originally said I would receive it, even though we were emailing back and forth, and they said that with my order number that they would set up everything. So fingers crossed that it comes the day that it's supposed to, because we have these events and stuff, right? So we'll see. We'll see if it comes when it says it's supposed to. At that point, because of our conversations, was not expecting it until like after next week. And so that's not happening. Yeah, it's back on track, back on schedule. I don't know if one person didn't relay the message to the other person. I don't know if they said, you know what, no, we know we can get it to her by this day. Because I said, if it can't be received by the day it says, because they had a minimum date and they had a like maximum date, right? It was like a 5-day time span, and I was like, can you please just wait until this date and then ship it? And based off of their holiday, that's what they said they were going to do. Then they asked me, could they wait for another date, which was later than the date I asked them to wait to. And I was like, well, can you wait until this day? I know it's after the day you're asking us to ship it if we can't get it to you by this day. And I said, yes. So that's how that all kind of came about. And no, it's scheduled for the next day that it said originally. So I tried to track it. No tracking information has come up for it, but there is a tracking number. So I even went to the global site, and that one runs through all of them. It runs through DHL, it runs through PS, FedEx, USPS, China Post, all of that. Like it just runs through all the tracking for the parcel carriers, or however you call them, carriers, if that's not what they're called. And it said that there was no information. It did say the carrier that it stated on Amazon was going to be the delivery company, whatever. And other than that, it was like, there's no other information. And I was like, okay, well, it even made it seem like the tracking number wasn't even real. And I know it is. Okay, so maybe within a couple of days, it will actually pop up. And as a matter of fact, it doesn't move. I just thought about it. It kind of doesn't have a couple of days. We'll see. We'll see. At some point, it has to scan through somewhere else and start telling me where it is. That way I can have a time frame on that day of when it's going to come. Okay, and so far as this is concerned, no clue what's going to happen. I tell you guys that all the time. But yes, so that's the update for that. I want to do a video on it, and that's why I'm mentioning it right now, and I'll mention it tomorrow and add it in. Now I know I need to have my book out here, but I didn't even put it in my book, so I probably still would have forgot it. But I'm gonna see how can I record it so you guys can see it light up, see it dim, stuff like that. I'm gonna plug up everything, and then I might do a test run. You know, I like to do a test run first. I do not like doing unboxings, and just to make sure. And then and if it's gonna malfunction, hopefully it'll happen within the first 2 or 3 times of me connecting everything, because I want to connect it even on video, but I want to know what I'm doing. Okay, so I always do the research first, no matter what it is, even if it's physical research. So far as physically putting something together or testing something before I do a video, it's very rare I do an unboxing. Sometimes I'll do a partial unboxing, so I'll put it like back in the box, but because it's open, I consider it a partial unboxing because I know kind of what to expect and what it's supposed to do, right? So yeah, that'll be coming up, and we'll see. What does the sign look like? Did the UV printing part, did they nail it? Is it the colors it was supposed to be? Did they actually get the emoji on there? I mean, I'm super excited to see. And I went with a 20-inch, so roughly like about this, right? Tall, they said probably less than 8 inches. So it's a pretty big sign. And so I'm excited to see if the chains come with it, if it has the holes in it where it's supposed to have it. And hopefully it will work. It'll turn on. Yeah, and it'll light up. So that's gonna be coming up. I don't know exactly when, because it's so close to like our event we have coming up, and I was gonna be busy and having my attention directed towards that. We were gonna be busy with that. And so now that everything's back to what it said and not later for next month, then I might test it, and there might not be a video for like another week, is what I'm saying. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great day. And as always, thank you for watching. If, like I said, if you're working out, I really hope you're getting the results that you want to get. And just stay safe, everybody. All right, see you guys later. Bye.